Thanks for staying with us on Point. The Department of Small Business and Development says it's looking at imposing penalties on government departments that fail to pay small businesses within 30 days. In a two-part virtual sit-down interview with SABC reporter Liabo, Setho, Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams says her department is also working on establishing an ombudsman's office that will deal with the problems of the small and medium enterprises sector. This is the second part of that interview.
Minister, currently we're facing unemployment of around 34.9%. It's a huge, huge number. And in the NDP envisages that 90% of jobs by 2030 will have come from the small business sector. However, we are not even at 70% yet. From my understanding, my numbers, we're running at around 68%. What programs are there in the department that helps to give rise to the vision of the NDP? The reason I ask this is because there's a lot of criticism leveled against this department, some labeling it as a department of loans and grants, dispersing loans and grants. What do you have to say about the job creation factor of this department?
Well, the first thing, as I spoke of, the formal and informal business, which is what will help us respond to the issue of unemployment. I spoke about ensuring that we strengthen the capacity side through CEDA, whether we're talking about people who are involved in informal businesses. If you look at recent studies that have been done, the informal sector has grown a lot, and you are saying, let's invest more on that. There is what we refer to as survivalist businesses, Liabo, wherein you find our mothers who are hawkers, those that are owning saloons and all of that, the chisanyamas and all of that. We are saying we've got, because those are the people that today, whether it's through business innovation or it's because they just want to survive because they must be able to provide food on the table. But we've got to teach them to say, you can grow from this level to this level. And when we do that, we're killing two birds with one stone, because you're taking somebody out of unemployment, you are graduating that person to an economic value chain to be a real participant. So the strengthening of CEDA and CIFA, which will be merged to one agency, seeks to address that. But at the center of it is ensuring that we coordinate. There's lots of money that gets to be pledged towards small businesses. But because we are not coordinated, or we do not coordinate the initiatives, you find that we end up funding the same sectors at times and the same people, which also talks to the markets that can be saturated. Because now, if we're not looking broadly into the critical sectors that we must support, then we're going to fail on others. Hence, you'll find us saying, in this sector, we've managed to transform. In this sector, we have not managed, because there has been over-concentration of resources to that particular sector. So that's one of the things, as I said, we engage the entire ecosystem. Big businesses, as I said, they have more money. We agreed with Minister Patel that the incentives that are provided to the big businesses must really find expression to what we want to see in terms of the local economic empowerment or development at a local level. And if we therefore are able to align from national to local in terms of the economic development plans, we are bound to achieve the targets that are set out in the national development plan.
The issue of excessive legislation, right, killing both the informal businesses, when you're looking for this form and that form from Ukokuntuli, who's selling tomatoes out there, for her to be able to get a small loan from yourself. You'll agree with me that during the time of the COVID relief disbursement era, just when COVID hit last year in May, there was a slow take-up of the relief funds that your department disbursed, under 5%, simply because there was just too much that needed, that small businesses or entrepreneurs needed. And it's practically, it's really absurd when you think about it, that you have all this money sitting there and people can't access it because the department wants this letter and that letter. And how are we making it easy, Minister?
Well, the first thing, as I said, well, now we've tried to relax all those so that people can access them, but still we're still faced with lots of challenges in doing that, because of course it's going to take time for everybody to be on par with what we want to achieve. we said we can't compete with commercial banks. We are a developmental institute, and therefore we have to have an appreciation of the challenges and the realities of where South African businesses are operating. If we do not have that, then we're going to find ourselves experiencing the challenges that you spoke about. And it is not nice when you go and you have not spent money that was meant to help people, because it makes you fail on many levels. So that's why we said the teams must look into this criterion, they must relax it. What is important is us ensuring that if we are giving you a loan, you will be able to repay that loan, because we must account for it to National Treasury, but also we must take it to reinvest in other small businesses. And therefore, I don't think you, by being on credit bureau, therefore is going to prohibit you from being able to pay. Of course, we must be skeptical of that if you have failed to pay your clothing account, then what does it mean if we entrust you with bigger money? But if we provide post support after we've given you money, therefore we are able to monitor you through every month, and we're able to say, now we're not going to give you the next tranche because you have not followed A, B, C, D, but providing that support, because where small businesses fail is the lack of mentorship, which is what we said we've got to really focus on. Let us mentor our small businesses. We've become very critical in terms of saying, can we really give monies in December? And we become skeptical because many
You're not
people
sure
in
anymore.
the past, they take this money and buy luxury cars. It's December. They want to have their fun. And again, that goes back to us teaching our people about the ethics of doing business and therefore the sustainability measures that we should put in place. We are going to visit each and every district through our provincial roadshows, wherein we engage with the small businesses, with the people that are supposed to consume the services by small businesses, with government and the private sector, and see how effective are the interventions that we are bringing or ineffective thereof, and make changes where necessary.
Your plans for 2022 in just 2 minutes, Minister, and with that, please include how you're going to help small businesses to take advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area that was signed earlier this year.
Well, we are working with the ACFTA, and we're going to have the first thing, we're going to have an investment conference that's looking at targeting small businesses that must be able to do work throughout the continent. We are working on a program that's called She Trades in the department, wherein we're focusing on women-owned businesses. Again, we're taking them to the continent and globally, but most importantly, we are working on that plan that I spoke about and trying to get government to put more resources to the department. And as I say that, it talks to what you spoke about in terms of easing the way of doing business. We are relaxing many things. You are going to see the Minister of Finance introducing some products, about 1,000 products that are designated for small businesses during his talk. He will go to town in terms of which sectors, because we are saying we may be comfortable for now with 30%, but it is not enough if we are to tamper with the status quo, as the National Development Plan says. So we are encouraging all small businesses to work together, to familiarize themselves with the ecosystem that they're participating in, and of course, join us in the work that we're trying to do. As I said, we have to work together, not only as government, but also as the private sector. Lastly, Liabo, critical to this is ensuring that we bring all the investors, as I said. This is why we are going to host partnership dialogues to say, if you are Old Mutual and you are saying you've set aside 150 billion rand for small businesses, which areas of focus are you targeting? So that as a department and other partners, we're able to help capacitate those small businesses to be able to benefit from what we are bringing, whilst we are also engaging the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition to make sure that they can relax in some areas so that these big monies can really find expression to where they're supposed to go.